Alright folks, so this is a demonstration of how to land a Cessna 172 Skyhawk in Xplane 11 using steam gauges and the G530. Alright, so we're going to start off by clicking New Flight, and we're going to select the airplane. In this case, as I said, we'll select the Cessna Skyhawk, steam gauges and G530. Xplane also does a G1000, but that'll be for our later video. Alright, so then the next thing we'll do is select our airport, and for this video we're going into Ellington Field outside of Houston, Texas, so KEFD, and we're going to further customize that by selecting runway 34 left, and we're going to specify that we want the flight to start at about 3 nautical miles out from the airport. And what this is going to do is it's going to line us up for a direct landing straight into 35 left. Alright, so we hit confirm on that. And the next thing is we will adjust our weather. For a little extra difficulty here, we're going to set the weather to low visibility, basically a whiteout, down to 300 feet. So we'll set it to low visibility and then further customize it by coming over here and setting our base level to 300. Alright, so that's essentially going to keep a heavy cloud cover all the way down to 300 feet above ground. Alright, so we'll hit done there, and so we're about ready to start the flight. So we'll go ahead and hit start flight. It's going to start us off, and I'm going to hit P on the keyboard to pause the flight and give us time to set up for the approach. Alright, so hit P, let's pause the simulation. If we look at our 530, it's showing us right here, the airport is straight ahead. If we look at our avionics, we are set to nav, which is important because we want to use the radios for this instrument approach, not the GPS. The next thing we'll do is we'll click M on the keyboard, which will bring up a map. We can then zoom in and we can see our approach into Ellington. And this is real handy because if you click on the approach, it'll bring up the frequencies that are required for this approach. You can manually enter them into the radio, or you can simply click here and that will set the frequencies in the radio for you. The other thing this tells us is the heading. So we need a heading of 354. We want to come over here and confirm that the heading bug is set to 354. If you made a prior approach at a different heading, sometimes that heading bug may be set to that prior approach, so you always want to check that. And then I think we're ready to start. Oh, one more thing. We need to specify the approach. So in this case, we're going to specify Ellington, 34 left. And that brings up this window that shows us the glide slope. As you can see, we've just entered this glide slope. And as soon as we turn the autopilot on, it's going to engage. And it's going to start a descent at 500 feet per minute into the airport. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and click P again, which will start the simulation. We will click nav, approach, altitude. We'll click altitude twice, and that engages the glide slope. And so now the plane is in control. You can see it's trying to climb a bit to get up to the glide slope. And once it reaches there, it's going to level off. And now we've started a descent at 500 feet per minute.
186, flight height 350.
We can close these windows so we have more visibility out the window. And now we need to start managing our throttle. So you can see we're descending and we're gaining speed. So we're going to want to back off on that throttle. I like to target about 90 knots for the landing. If we look at the Garmin, it's showing that we're about 2 nautical miles out. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 notch of flaps. That's going to slow the airspeed down to about 90. I might just give a skosh more throttle. Make sure we hang out there at 90.
fly heading 360.
Alright, at this point we're 1.7 miles out and we're about 300 feet, so we should start seeing the runway soon. There it is. Alright, so not a bad approach. We're coming in with good alignment. And I'm going to get it one more notch of flaps there. And I'm going to disengage the autopilot by clicking this push button. Alright, that tone means the autopilot's disengaged, and now we're hand flying. Alright, so I'm going to try to correct alignment just a little bit there. There we go. And we'll get ready for our flare. There we go. It's not going to be the prettiest landing, but it'll get us there. Cut the throttle. Alright, get back on center line. Alright, and then we'll hit B on the keyboard, which will apply the brakes, bring us to a full stop. Okay, now I wanted to show you a neat feature of Xplane, and it's a replay. So if you move up to the top left, hit flight and toggle replay mode, it's going to open up this replay frame, and you can drag this back and you can watch your entire flight from start to beginning. I really like doing this because it gives me a chance to look at the landings and hopefully improve upon the next one. The other thing that's nice about this is you can change the perspective. So if you hit Shift and 8, it'll give you an outside of the plane perspective. And then if you click your right mouse button and drag it around, you can change that perspective to whatever you want. I like this view about right here. Alright, and so now we'll hit play, and it's going to give us a quick replay on that approach. Alright, so and then if you hit Shift 7, puts you back in the cockpit, and if you click flight and toggle replay mode, now we're back in live play. So I hope this is helpful. If it's a lot of fun to experiment. I didn't talk much about these needles here. These are your arm needles. They this horizontal line is on the approach, should be in line with this dotted line. If it's high like this, it means you're a little low, and then the vertical needle shows your lateral positioning relative to the airport. So ideally, as you're coming down the glide slope, these would be a perfect crosshair, and that would tell you that you're in perfect alignment. And I think if you look back at the video, the autopilot had us dialed right into the glide slope on that. So anyway, hope this is helpful, and thanks for watching.